All right, let's go out to Lincoln, Nebraska and talk to the great and powerful Adam. Hey, Adam, what's up, man?
Hey, Dr. John. How's it going?
Partying, man. What are you up to?
Hey, so the thing is, my wife and I, we're new parents.
The thing is, that was a great one. I haven't had that. We've had like 500 plus shows. No one's been like, all right, so the thing is, well done, man. All right, so the thing is.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's been so much fun so far. We love our daughter. She's about 7 months old now. We love spending time with her. My question really is this. So she is 7 months old now, but we've only had a babysitter watch her once, and that was my brother and his wife.
Who's the one who can't breathe?
It would be my wife. She doesn't trust anyone, and even my brother and his wife after the one time that they watched our daughter.
What happened?
I mean, we went out for our anniversary, and we were only gone for a couple of hours. We got dinner. We went to Sam's Club and got some groceries. And then we came back and, I mean, I felt like everything went fine. Our daughter was crying when we got home. I think like it wasn't anything, just kind of, they were changing her diaper. She was probably getting tired. And I think my wife, just saw that and, felt our daughter's pain and knew that she missed us. And now she's, not really willing to let anybody watch her.
So can we get super real for a second?
Yeah.
You've done a great job at saying all of the right things. So I applaud you. You're presenting well. Me and my wife, we love our baby daughter. We love spending time with her. We love this new season. And you miss your wife.
Yeah, we haven't really been able to go out on dates. I mean, we like spend time together in the evening after she goes to bed, but that's just kind of like watching movies or, maybe playing a board game or something, but then we get tired.
Yeah. Well, and sleep is such a precious commodity right now, right?
Yeah.
Man, this one's tough for a couple of reasons, but the main reason is she's not on the phone. So it's this awkward thing where two dudes are going to try to figure out a problem that we don't have insight in because we aren't a mother who's been connected to this baby for going on almost 2 years now, right?
Yeah.
But, here's a couple of thoughts, okay? The first one is, let me ask one more question that's a broader question. Is this the challenge that you have, that you miss your wife, or is your wife's connection with this baby slowly becoming an obsession? And what I mean by that is not the obsession like she changes diapers and feeds the kid and does naps and all that. Are you watching your wife become a shell of herself, or are you watching a woman who's just becoming this person that's pretty magnanimous, but like you don't know what to do now in terms of your marriage?
Well, I think she's really thriving in that role as a mother, and she's always wanted to do that. And we've always, like, I've wanted to be a dad too. And she's a stay-at-home mom, so like she gets all this time with the baby and really no time, just with me and with us together. So
does she want that?
Yeah. She says she does. She just says like she's not ready, or she just feels like our baby would be miserable with a babysitter.
Okay. That baby's going to be miserable with two parents who don't know or like each other also, right?
Right.
This is tough, man. All right, so here's a couple of things. Here's where I would start. I think it would be a cool exercise, and you'll probably have to do this at home to get going, okay? I think after this year, hopefully you'll do this somewhere else. But I think it would be cool for y'all to plan, and it's going to have to be between naps, so it won't be this big thing. But basically, the rebuilding of our marriage because now it's all new.
Mm-hmm.
And I think asking her, how long did y'all date, and were you married before you had a kid?
Yeah, so we've been married for 5 years, and we were engaged for about a year before that, and dated for a year before getting engaged.
Okay, so y'all been the better part of a decade, right? 7 years
Yeah.
plus. Okay, so y'all have created this marriage, and now everything's different.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm going to overly gender this, but most men are just waiting for things to quote unquote get back to the way they were.
Yeah.
When we would just went out. Remember we just went out? Remember when we just like had sex on the dinner table, like just randomly, like on Tuesday night? Like remember those days? And they keep waiting for this just to happen, and it doesn't just happen because everything's new now. And so it has to be intentional moving forward. And most couples, they don't take the time or the intentionality to get there until there's a crisis. And so I think it would be cool to plan a Saturday morning for the two of you. And maybe you have, my son did this several times where he was young. He was like 7 or 8, but he came over to a house while mom or dad were still there, and he played with the baby, but he was in the house, right? Mm-hmm. So basically he was a distraction. He wasn't a babysitter. He was just a distraction. So mom or dad could do the things they needed to do at the house.
Yeah.
And y'all could plan and just dream, sit, talk. All right. You've been pregnant for almost 9 months, and now our baby is 7, almost 9 months, right? 8, 9 months. What kind of couple do we want to be? What do we want this to look like? What does romance look like now? How do I love you today? What does that look like? What do we want our finances to look like? And here's what we're doing. I want to get out of your wife's immediate moment of all she can think of, and she feels it in her body. All she can feel is her baby's going to be tortured when she walks out the door. Mm-hmm. And that's not true, but we have to get out of that moment. So let's get out of that moment and go over here and begin to talk about what could be, what we want to have happen, what we want this thing to look like. And that's where you're going to have to take some vulnerable steps, my brother, and say things like, I miss my wife. I miss you. I miss the little jokes. I miss the private stuff. I miss the private dates we would go on. I miss you reaching under the table and holding my hand. I miss you. And she hopefully would say, I miss you too. And what we're doing is we're creating, all right, this is awesome. How do we reverse engineer this in real life? And I'm thinking of the words exposure therapy. Do you know what that is?
No, not really.
So exposure therapy is something they do for people who struggle with anxiety. But let's say you have a phobia about snakes, and you go in and see somebody. What they're going to do is they're going to talk to you about snakes. They're going to have you sit all by yourself for a few weeks and imagine a snake. Just imagine it. And then feel your body. Like, where is it? Where is that fear showing up in your body? What's it doing? Are you sweating? Is your heart racing? And then over time, y'all going to draw pictures of a snake. Then you're going to look at pictures. Then you're going to watch online videos of a snake. And the whole process ends with you holding a live python or a boa constrictor in the office. And what we've done is we've slowly taught your brain that it has pegged this thing as the end of time, but it's actually going to be okay. And it's just training your brain. So what that might look like for you all is, will you do 1 hour from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. at a local diner right down the street, and call somebody from your local church or your neighborhood or somebody that will come for 1 hour? Can we just do 1 hour and then we'll race back here? And the catch will be, we're going to do 1 hour. We're going to put it on the calendar once a week for 1 month.
Okay.
And then we're going to exhale. And then after that, we're going to go to once a week at a diner. And then one weekend out of that month, we're going to go on a date for just 2 hours. We're going to go to dinner, 7 to 9, something like that. And what we're doing is we're slowly teaching your wife's body that it's okay. The baby's going to be okay. She's going to be okay. And she can settle into this complex matrix of being a wife and mother. You're going to have to be patient, but I think your patience is going to be easier when there's a plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
When there's no plan, it feels like those dark night of the soul questions, like, is this the rest of my life?
Yeah.
And then you start asking.
Yeah, I've definitely been thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, oh, they always talk about like married couples just kind of become obsessed with their kids, and then he gets obsessed with work or she gets obsessed with work, and everything just goes away. Is this happening?
Yeah.
Is this us? Right. So I think being intentional on the front end is super, super important here. And I also, you got to hold space for her to say no and live with what that might mean. If she looks at you and says, I'm not going to go to a diner with you for an hour. I'm never going to do that. Until our daughter can walk and talk, I'm not going to do that. And then if that's the case, then you need to go see a marriage counselor, because your marriage is going to be in trouble for a couple of different reasons. But it's hard stuff. It's hard stuff. And I think I'd love to talk to your wife, but I think it's worth sitting down and saying, okay, walk me through, what do you feel? Because babies cry. That's how they get people's attention. That's how they just say, hey guys, I peed in my pants. They do that by going, ah! And they say, hey, I need to roll over. And they do that by going, ah! That's just how they communicate. And so it's not always catastrophic or end of time or something's hurt or whatever. But your wife is not going out because the perceived discomfort of this baby makes her feel bad. And that's the part that she's got to be willing to say, I need to heal and grow from that. So, hope that helps, my brother. I'm going to send you a copy of Building a Non-Anxious Life. That may be a conversation that y'all can walk through in your home together. But I think it's worth sitting down and starting from scratch and saying, all right, we've had a 7-year run and it's been awesome. And now we have this amazing baby. And everything goes out the window. What do you want this thing to look like? Here's what I want this thing to look like. Here's what I want us to continue to become. Here's what I need. What do you need? Here's what I want. What do you want? Will you build this new marriage with me? And then hold on. So hopefully she says yes. And then you're off to the races. Or she might say no. And you got to deal with that reality too. Thanks for the call, my brother Adam. I wish you all the best.